Hey guys, here's another Bromance Battle Report by Elf. The game is 2,500 points battle line with magical terrain. It will be Warriors of Chaos versus Wood Elves. Here's my list. I have a level 4 Spellweaver with Death. It's very similar to my last list. Glade Captain on a Great Stag, use my BSB. Level 2 Beast, Scroll Caddy, 2 units of Poison Glade Guard. Eternal Guard, 2 units of Wild Riders, 3 Warhawk Riders, want to try these guys out, 2 Waywatcher units, 2 Great Eagles, and a Tree Man. Alright, this is the Warriors list from memory. He's got the a Nurgle Demon Prince, pretty much a standard build. He only has a 4-up armor save though. Greg's a newer player, so he kind of, comp is in mind, so he didn't want to take the all-out, nutso unkillable Demon Prince, but this guy's still pretty stout. He's got a 4-up, 5-up. He's got the Charm Shield, and he's got the Dragonbane Gem. He's got the Mark of Nurgle. He's still a tough cookie, so really scared of this guy. He also has the unkillable BSB on the disc. Don't know all of his equipment, but I do know that he's got the 3-up with rerollable 1. So again, this guy, don't know what to do against this guy. He also brought Festus with a level 2 Nurgle. He really makes units of warriors. He gives them like regeneration 5-up. He's got this thing, like a grenade he can toss into combat. He's got all kind of cool abilities. So he's a pretty cool little guy. He's also got just kind of a vanilla exalted hero with built mace. He's got a really big unit of warriors to put Festus in with additional hand weapons and Nurgle. He's got 4 units of warhounds, just kind of as chaff. A mega unit of skull crushers. This unit just terrifies me. He's got like he's got the terror banner on it as well, and he's got 1 Chaos War Shrine, which is also really tough to kill. Pre-game thoughts: I'm a little, I'm kind of scared. Don't really know how I'm going to get points off of this guy. Let's see how things go. All right, this is a look at my deployment. As you can see, it's kind of crowded because he actually dropped most of his stuff on the right side of his table. So I actually had to kind of respond by putting a lot of my stuff over here. There's actually a Tree Man and a unit of archers off screen. But this is actually after his Vanguard and after scouting. So you see I have some Way Watchers over there by that building. I got some those Spider Riders are actually Chaos Dogs. But as you can see, I'm kind of a little crowded. I'm a little nervous at this point, but we'll see what happens. This is a look at Warriors deployment and after Vanguard, of course. As you can see, all of his stuff it's almost like a castle. I know my friend's a newer player, but I think he was really trying to just kind of broadside me over here and just take out my flank and crumble me. So I guess it was a kind of a legit plan. His warriors are going to jump into, want to jump into that building. I'm not really sure why, but all of his threats are right here. The left side of the table just has a couple of units of dogs, so this is pretty much his entire army. All right, warriors got first turn, and this is how they moved. As you would assume, very aggressively. The juggernauts just basically marched forward as far as they could, and the demon prince got right up in my face. The BSB is right behind the juggernauts. I think he casts some spells. I don't really think he gets off anything terribly good, and he has no shooting. So it was a pretty quick turn. So nothing really interesting to happen terribly. All right, this is Wood Elf first turn, and it's a little more eventful. As you can see, I kind of move things up. I get that Great Eagle in front of those juggernauts. Kind of move everything towards the side of the table. The most notably is during my magic phase, he dispels Soul Blight. However, I get Doom and Darkness off on his juggernauts, and this is going to be really big later in the game. But I get Doom and Darkness off on the juggernauts, and at the end of the phase, I have 1 dice left. So I'm like, don't want to let this dice go to waste. So I just kind of throw a Hail Mary at a Spirit Leech onto his Demon Prince. Now his Demon Prince is leadership 9, so is my Spellweaver. So it's I just kind of thought, well, if I get it off, it'll be a coin flip. Maybe I can get a wound or 2. Well, I get it off. He's completely out of the spell dice. He has to let it through. We roll off. I roll a 5 and he rolls a 1. So boom, 4 wounds. No charm shield, no armor save protection. he goes straight into his ward save and he fails 3 of them. So I do 3 wounds to his Demon Prince right off the gate, and now he's reeling. I do some shooting, nothing. I shoot some dogs and panic a few, but other than that, that's it. All right, here he's kind of reeling from taking 3 wounds on his Demon Prince, but the Demon Prince is still alive, and he continues to play aggressively. His ogres, or I'm sorry, his warriors with Festus actually move out of the building, right up in my face. The Juggernauts fail their frenzy test and have to charge that Great Eagle, which the Great Eagle was in his way anyway, so we had to charge him. He kills that Great Eagle, and I believe he overruns. His Demon Prince, I was kind of wondering why he put his Demon Prince at that angle, because all my really valuable things are over on the right, towards the middle of the table. Well, his Demon Prince has a breath weapon, and he just opens it up and kills like 4 of the 7 Wild Riders. He also gets a toughness reducing spell off on the Wild Riders, so that just doesn't help. So the Wild Riders on the left side are all but killed off. He does not dispel Doom and Darkness on his Juggernauts, and we were kind of talking after the game. I think he may have forgot to, but he was also really short on power dice, so I think he was really more concerned with killing those Wild Riders before. I guess I'm not really sure why. This is going to be huge later in the game, and you'll see why. And this is why. So seeing an open flank on the Juggernauts and a Doom and Darkness still on the unit, I just kind of take a gamble. I throw my BSB on a Great Stag into the Juggernaut's flank. Now, during the magic phase, he again does not dispel Doom and Darkness. Again, it might have been a dice issue, and I was throwing some really scary spells at him, but not really sure why. But he's a newer player, so I kind of give him the benefit of the doubt. I also get Wissons off on my BSB, just because I figure I'm going to need the help. During shooting, every Way Watcher on the board goes into the Demon Prince, and I just get through his toughness, and I get that last wound off. So the Demon Prince is down, and he is really, really reeling at that point. In combat with the Juggernauts, I think I do a couple of wounds. I think I maybe do 2 or 3 wounds to the unit. I don't take any back. And so, he's steadfast because he has 6 Juggernauts. I think I do 1 to the unit with impact hits and then 2 to the champion in a challenge. Well, I have a charge, flank, flag bonus, and then 3 wounds. I win combat. He's steadfast, but because of Doom and Darkness, he is steadfast on like a 5 rerollable. The Demon Prince is dead. So he fluffs his rerollable break test, and I run him down. So he has lost his 2 mega units by the end of turn 2. It is a rough game so far. So we continue playing. I think he actually considers conceding at this point, but out of good sportsmanship, he continues to play along. He still has a big unit left. So let's see what he can do with the remains of his army. Okay, here's just a shot of his turn. He has jumped back into the building with Festus and that horde of chaos. His BSB has retreated all the way to the corner of the table. I think I may have forgotten to mention earlier that I actually plinked a wound off of his unkillable BSB. So I'm not sure if it has 2 or 3 wounds, but he's kind of nervous trying to save those points. The War Shrine, very, very tough unit, so I think he's not too terribly worried about it. But other than that, he's just trying to conserve points. He doesn't really do anything. He may get a spell off. I think he maybe gets the Eye of the God spell off, but nothing really crucial happens. Now here's my turn 3. I send the BSB on the Stag into that Chaos War Shrine, and then I send my Warhawk Riders, those are the squirrels, into the flank. This is. I even get Wissons off on the Great Stag, if I remember correctly, and I cannot put wounds on this War Shrine. It's got a 3-up. It's toughness 5. It's 3-up. Now he doesn't get any wounds back on me, but so I win combat. However, he's able to hold on just a ridiculous roll. So now I'm in this grind war with this war shrine that I don't want to be in. I only have T4 on those squirrel riders, so I'm getting kind of nervous here, but I know I kind of have the game, so now I'm just kind of trying to round up points, but still frustrated that I cannot break this chariot. Here he moves Festus and the unit out of the building. He really couldn't find a way to get me in his charge arc, so he just kind of had to settle for getting the unit out of the building and hoping to reform next turn. Again, Wasan's wears. I may have Wasan's, I can't remember at this point, but I'm still just trying to beat this chariot down. I cannot get wounds on it, and it continues to hold. I think he does a wound last turn. He does a wound to my BSB, so I'm kind of scared here. I don't want him to get my BSB because that'll be a lot of points, and then he could end up breaking those squirrels. So I do have some Wild Riders positioned to come in and assist, but if he gets Festus reformed, he can really start threatening me here. But other than that, he can't get any spells through. I have a level 4 to his level 2, so I'm just shutting him down in Magic. This was the last turn. After that, we pretty much called it. I sent the Wild Riders in with a Wasan's on them, and despite their best efforts, Wasan's Wild Riders are just probably the hardest hitting unit that the new Wood Elf book can put out, and I still only do 1 wound. Those Chaos War Shrines, man, they're just tough. However, all of the combat res that the Wild Riders provided allowed me to finally break him. Additionally, I sent several Waywatcher shots into the unkillable BSB, and you'll see what happens on the next slide. This is what happens to hit the BSB. He's got a 3-up with a rerollable 1-up 1 ward save, and he rolls 4 2s on 4 Waywatcher wounds. So this is kind of a just kind of represents his luck the entire game. He did not roll well. He could not make his saves, other than the Chaos War Shrine, which made every save it tried to attempt. But his BSB goes down. At that point, he only has Festus and his horde left, and he jumps back in the building with it. So we go ahead and call it due to time. It's a pretty devastating Wood Elf win, but he was a good sport about it, and it was a good game. Alright guys, here's the results. It's a 1633 to 50 Wood Elf win. He literally only got 1 Great Eagle the entire game. This was a blowout. Man, he was a good sport about it. We played until like turn 4 or 5, with only 1 unit left on the board. He may have made. He's a newer player, but he really only made 1 or 2 mistakes. But those mistakes really just cost him. Leaving Doom and Darkness up on the Juggernauts was just it. It just cost him huge. Final thoughts. Skull Crushers are very scary. Especially in units of 6 in a 2,500 point game. That's just a really hard unit. There's nothing I have that can kill those guys. Even Waywatchers can't kill them. I just don't have enough shots over the course of the game. However, they're not unbreakable. Yeah, they were steadfast, but when you're steadfast on like a 5, it really is like not being steadfast at all. He was steadfast on a 5 rerollable and he broke. So these guys, leadership is really their weakness. If you can get it down, they are going to fail those frenzy tests. You can cat and mouse them the whole game, and then you can just throw anything even moderately hitty into them and break them. My Glade Captain was a fairly mediocre build. He's just my BSB with a little bit of punch, but he did 1 or 2 wounds, 1 combat, and they broke. So it really learned a lot here about all monstrous cavalry, especially ones with frenzy. Furthermore, Demon Princes are very scary. They were in my face turn 1 and 2. Especially with that breath weapon, he can get where he wants to go, use it. And I can't really comment on here because I got really lucky with this guy. I got one Waywatcher shot through. I got Spirit Leech through. But this did teach me that Spirit Leech is really a nasty weapon. And it can turn into a roll-off. His Demon Prince may have leadership 9, but he really doesn't want to have to flip a coin versus a leadership 9 Spellweaver because it gets by all of his defenses. It gets by the Charm Shield. it gets by his armor save. It just goes into his 5-up ward save, and when you take 4, he rolled he rolled poorly on the Spirit Leech test and took like 4 wounds and only managed to save 1. So uh, a lot more respect for death. You know, I'm used to using Beast and Life in the old Wood Elf book, so I'm really getting more and more respect for the Lord of Death, and I think I'll continue to use it. And finally, uh, and this is kind of a lesson for all Chaos players. If you take large units, it's a risk. No matter how unkillable you think they are, something out there can beat them. Some combination out there can beat them. So it's important to take chaff and use it correctly. Even if you have to block your own charges with Frenzy, use chaff to protect those units, and so you can get them into position. And anytime you bring a big unit, you need to be prepared to lose it. You need to be able to be prepared to lose a big unit and still win the game. Um, the game was really over for Greg after he lost 2 units. So, a lot of people complain about big Death Stars, but there's risk to taking them, and if your opponent takes advantage of those risks, you can be the one losing. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. It was a fun game. Greg was a great sport, and we'll hopefully get a rematch up soon. Thanks for watching.